Peugeot at the moment is trying to find a new design language for the company. The current design language has evolved 3 times since its release back in 2018. The first one was the Peugeot 508 design. Then you had the new Peugeot 308 design, and now you have this. This is the new Peugeot E-3008, and is this the ultimate design for a Peugeot? Or can they do any better? Let's find out. Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Cars and More. This is the #1 place to be for car news and reviews. Sit back, buckle up, let's go. So, the design of the new Peugeot E-3008 is a bit odd for me. It is a looker, but not for a good reason in some areas. Take the headlights for example. For me, they are just too thin and out of proportion on an SUV. On a hatchback or coupe it may just work, but on an SUV it just doesn't feel right. Also, the lion scratches on the front work on other Peugeots, but on this one they just feel out of place and like an afterthought. The grille isn't bad and does work, but it has been implemented better on other Peugeots. The lower central air vent and side vents are possibly the only good things on the front of this car. Moving round to the side, we get a coupe SUV style to the 3008, something we haven't seen on the 3008 before. We get some gloss black cladding around the wheel arches and on the lower side seals. We also get a crease lower down too, and the Peugeot shield on the front wing. The wheel designs are also quite modern with the new Peugeot design language that suits this car, and to be honest this is possibly one of the best angles on this car overall. Moving round to the back however, this is where things start to go really downhill. Now I'm going to start with the new E-3008. That design works very well on that car. This car however, something just doesn't look right. It looks too plain and minimalistic to me. We get this black bar connecting yet again some thin taillights that just really don't suit it and look out of place. We also get a gloss black bumper which looks okay, and for that part is fine for me. Being an SUV coupe we get some cat ears above. But I must say the Peugeot 4008 does look a lot better than this one. Personally, I think if they moved the number plate from the bumper onto the boot lid it would look much better. Right, let's have a look at what battery and motor options you can get with the E-3008. So, the Peugeot E-3008 can be had with electric, but also petrol hybrid and petrol plug-in hybrid. The petrol versions will be released later this year, and this will consist of the 1.2 litre mild hybrid unit or the usual 1.6 litre plug-in hybrid unit. The exact figures for those two engines haven't been released just yet, so I won't go into any more detail about them, but once they are released I will release a new review on my official Everything Cars and More website. The electric versions though are all new. This is because they are based on a new STLA medium platform. This means you can get 3 new electric models. Let's start with the first one. This has a 201 brake horsepower motor with a 73 kWh battery pack. This has 327 miles of range and it is front wheel drive. 0 to 62 is dealt with in 8.8 seconds, which isn't that bad. The next version has slightly more power at 227 brake horsepower, but this has a much bigger battery pack at 98 kWh. This promises more than 400 miles of range, which is almost as good as a Mercedes EQS. This will arrive in the second half of this year, along with the internal combustion engine models. It will also be joined with a dual motor version, giving this car 4-wheel drive, but also 316 brake horsepower and a 0 to 62 time of just 6.4 seconds. The range does get reduced to 235 miles though because it uses the smaller battery pack size. The price of the new Peugeot E-3008 starts at £45,850. This isn't that bad for the type of car you are getting. The petrol versions will be cheaper, of course. Right, let's have a look at the interior, as I have quite a lot to say about it. So, climb inside the new E3008, and just like the outside, the inside has gone through 2 different designs since that language was introduced. The interior of the E3008 is a newer design from the already new 308. To me, this interior change just feels like they had money to spare, as the interior of the 308 wasn't a bad interior. Here, however, we get a curved panoramic single screen setup for the instrument cluster and infotainment system. This is a whole new setup that we have never seen before on a Stellantis car, which means they've also had to make new software for it. The software is different to what we are used to from other new Stellantis cars, and it is okay, but it isn't the best to use. You do get this third digital screen for your shortcuts, and this is taken straight from the 308, but on this model it now has 2 pages for your shortcuts, which is a nice idea. It is also customisable. We also get a new steering wheel, which I hope we will see on other Peugeot cars very soon, as well as new indicator stalks. Those haven't been updated for at least 10 years now, if not longer. We get this recycled material all around the cabin and some cool ambient lighting, which I do quite like at night. And I do also like how the driver feels separated from the passenger. Because of this though, the storage compartments in the centre console are hard to access unless you are the passenger. The seats are also new and are very comfortable, but they don't have the best design in my opinion from the back. Talking of the back, let's have a look at what the back seats are like. So, getting into the back, and we do still get some premium materials from the front into the back, and the floor is pretty much flat, although the centre console does come out quite far, so you can just about fit 3 in the back. Legroom is decent for the size of car, but because of the sloping roof, the headroom isn't the best. And this is to be expected for a sloping roof. You do get some air vents though, some USB-C ports, as well as an armrest. Let's have a look at the boot. So, opening the boot by either waving your foot under the car, pressing a button on the dashboard, or pressing a button on an awkwardly placed boot switch, you are welcomed with 520 litres of space with the seats up. You do have a height adjustable boot floor to add more room if you wanted to, but it isn't as practical as the previous version because of the sloping roof. With the seats folded, this extends to 1,480 litres. So, the Peugeot E3008. What exactly is this car? Personally, I think that this car could have been much better than what it is. If they kept the same overall shape as the previous generation and gave it a new 308 interior, it would have been a much better car. Don't get me wrong though, this isn't a bad car, and some of the new parts that are on this car I would like to see on other Peugeot cars, like the steering wheel, but it could be so much better. There will also be one less rival that this car will not have in the future. That is the Vauxhall Grandland. This is because the new Grandland is going to be much bigger than before, as it is going to be now based on the E5008. Whilst it won't have any 7 seats now, it will be a lot more practical than the E3008. We will have to wait and see though what that is like when that comes out very soon, and that could be very interesting. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.